Hello everyone, my name is Eric. Today I want to cover how to checkmate with a rook and a king. There's more than one method to accomplishing checkmate like this. Today I'm going to show you what I call the dancing method. Okay, let's get started. First off, we should bring the rook up to cut off the squares to the king. Notice the black king is now cut off. The black king will probably move towards your rook. Now you want to bring the white king up towards the rook too. The black king moves again. Now you get the white rook in position to dance. From this point forward, the king and rook will be next to each other and actually look like they are dancing. During the dance, the rook will remain in the adjacent squares surrounding the king. Now it's time for the black king to move again. Our dancing method flows according to how the black king moves. If the black king moves to f5, then our king will move up. However, if the black king moves to e4, then our rook moves over to f3. In this position, you can see how the rook is limiting the black king to a smaller quadrant of the board. Now our king and rook are dancing. Let's play some dancing music to keep them going. As you can see, the king and rook move together in harmony. The king protects the rook, and the rook takes away the squares of the opposing king. If you notice, the dancing moves are based on the movement of the opposing black king. Now the black king moves in a different direction, so our white king moves up. We will continue this until our rook is too far behind. If you are sticking to the dancing method, then you would now bring your rook up to e5. Now the black king comes back down, so what should you do in this position? Our king does a sidestep to get back into rhythm. The black king moves, then it's our rook's turn to cut off more squares. Look at how the dancing method has squeezed the black king into a much smaller corner. This will continue. Notice how the white king gracefully dances behind the rook. He gets into position to meet the black king's next move. The black king moves back, so the white king moves forward. Again, the black king moves back, and the white king moves forward. This is where the dancing ends. When the opposing black king is trapped against the wall, our rook will no longer be bound to the king. The white rook moves to d8 to effectively cut off the last two remaining squares for the black king to escape to. Now the black king has one move left. After that move, it's rook to a8 checkmate. Now let's go back a few moves to look at a different variation and see what we can do. Let's say in this position the king moves to b7 instead of a6. The white rook will move to c5. The black king comes back down. So what do we do in this position? The white king just does a sidestep, so you can stay in rhythm. Black king up, rook up, and you'll see this until the black king is trapped in the corner with only one move available. I want to highlight this key square for the white rook. When the rook is in the position it is now and the black king is in the corner, the white rook is limiting the black king to those two squares. The white rook needs to stay in this position until it's time to deliver the checkmate. From this position, the white king will dance around the rook until he smothers the black king against the wall. Once this occurs, checkmate naturally follows. There's one last point I want to cover here. What if the black king is on b8 instead of a8 and it's white to move? Just play a waiting move with the rook. The king goes into the corner and then rook checkmate. That's all you have to do.